Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is Reefer James. We're down in the basement. Reefer James is underground, and I have two systems here. It's been quite a while since I've put out a video, maybe a year, who knows. But to refresh everybody, I've got 125 and 90 hooked together. Pink tail trigger is still in the 125 there to the left. All live rock, and it's run off both of those tanks. The 90, I have two green plate corals and some star polyps. My trumpet corals have died off. I've been lazy. I have some algae growing in the tank, which we will address later in this video. But both of those tanks are being run off a 40-gallon lung that I've created into a sump. Okay. And then I have the 120 display tank over here, which is run off a 36 ruby sump. A lot of softy red mushrooms. I just turned the lights on, so they had shriveled up already for the night, and I've turned it back on because there's something I wanted to show you. I have some green recordias over there, which they're real small right now, like I said, because the light's been off, but they're real big today. The tank's doing really well. As you can see across the bottom, I have no hair except the 90. I'm starting to get green hair algae here, guys, and that's something I wanted to address. We're down in the basement with Reefer Bandit. He's such a good cat, and don't know what I'd do without him, so I hope he behaves. Star polyps in the 90 are doing well, but I need to start being more consistent every week with checking my alkalinity and stuff. The alkalinity really drops in this system with both of these tanks hooked together. I don't know why, but it does. Every week I got to add. Where this one I have a peristaltic doser, the 120 display, with I use bicarbonate there in a jug, and it doses every morning 4 or 5 times in the morning for like 5 seconds. So the alkalinity is a lot better in this tank. I don't have to add hardly anything. But all this time, all these years now, the scrubber, since I had that real bad turf hair algae outbreak like 6 years ago, my tanks have been running really well with the scrubbers, and the scrubber has been keeping my tanks at bay. And it would probably, I have 2 scrubbers, one for the 120 display and one for the 90 and the 125. Those 2 pipes you see behind the tanks there out on the wall are that's the return and supply for the trigger system. And then I have pipes going through the wall down here, as you can see above the ruby, going across there and going back to the scrubbers. Let's go on the other side of the wall, guys. I'll show you the scrubbers are still, the lights are still on. Well, they just came on for the night. They're doing really well. Let me turn the light on here. The algae is atrocious. It's real dark green, but it's doing the job. I have a lot of algae and stuff and critters, copepods and you name it, crawling along the bottom. This is the scrubber for the trigger. I've redesigned it. I've got different lights running it. You see this one right there, growing a lot of hair algae, a lot of green, dark green to light green algae, and also I'm growing this this stuff here. Check it out, guys. Let me show you here. Almost like a chaetomorpha. After a while, it looks like chaeto. But let me throw it in the garbage here. I'm holding on to a big goop of algae. But that's the thing with the scrubbers. You want the algae to grow, but you have to harvest it. So there's 2 screens on each scrubber. And this one's ready to harvest. I need to clean the screens. I was going to do it today, but I fell asleep. I'm working 12-hour shifts now, so it's just awful trying to find time. It's freezing balls outside. I can't go outside and scrape the screens out there and hose them off with a hose. I'll have to do it here on the basement floor. But this is what's holding my tanks at bay. This is giving the algae a place to grow other than your tanks. So it actually outcompetes your tanks for the phosphates and nitrates and the detritus, the nutrients out of your tank, and gives it a separate place to grow other than your tanks. So then your tanks remain algae free. That's how the scrubbers work here. So anyway, let's get back to the 90 real quick. This is going to be a tutorial. A long time ago, I did a video on Kent reactors. As you can see above the 120 I have sitting here ready to go. I have an old Bio Pellet Kent. Let me take it down so you can see the top of it. With the hard tubing that they sold with. They sold the 2 hard tubes already built into the upper cap. And I've modified it. As you can see, I put a valve on it. And I'm running a Cobalt, I think it's like a 600 power head. It's not the 1200, guys. It's I think Cobalt bought out, I forgot the company that was making these power heads. I think it was Penguin, not Penguin, but oh geez, I can't for the life of me. Can't remember the brand name that used to make these power heads. The 1200, they have 1200 Maxi Jets. That's what they were called. Marineland Maxi Jets. How quickly it comes back. Well, this is so Cobalt, I think, bought them out. I'm not sure, but Cobalt's making their brand, and it's actually the same power head, but this is a 600 gallon per hour, and I'm gonna run it full bore. And as you notice, the top screen, I have the little piece of foam that they give you to keep the foam from sinking down or moving around. I've got 2 tie straps through the foam. I don't know if you can see those tie straps there inside, barely right there on each side, through the foam and through the plate to hold the foam piece that I've cut to fit in place. And at the bottom is just a diffuser plate with holes. There's no foam. You don't have to put floss in it. I was going to put some floss on top for better filtration, but that's not what this is about. It's not about filtering the water, actually. The 90 does stay pretty clean. And what I have in the bottom is 2 bags of SeaChem Purigen. Okay, the Purigen bags, they come sealed with all those microbeads in there, and the Purigen will absorb all the phosphate and the nitrates at a maximum amount. The performance of these things is just it'll drain your tank of phosphate really quick. And I don't necessarily want to shock the system, but I do have 275 gallons here with the sump, the 2 tanks, and the scrubber tank. The water volume is about 280 gallons. So I'm going to use 2 bags, and I wanted to keep my tank covered here because the 90, since it's running off the trigger, I'm only using lights. Okay, I got these Orphics. They're really nice, and I'm only got a heater and a couple power heads for flow, and a supply tube from the sump, and the return in the back. I drilled a hole and went back diagonally down, gravity fed back into the 40-gallon long. And as you can see, to run the scrubber and the systems, I'm now using DC drive adjustable variable speed pumps by Aqua. I think that's the name, Aqua. Marine Aqua or something there. Let's see here. See right there. I think it's Marine Aqua. And it's real nice because you can adjust the flow. And they use a lot less wattage than the old. I was using the Danner pond pumps, and those were like 100 watts an hour. And it got real expensive in the wintertime, and it still is because of my heaters. Because now that it's, like I said, it's freezing balls outside. It's about 9 degrees probably. So I've got two 300 watt heaters in the trigger tank. I've got a 200 water or so. Let's see here. Pretty sure. Oh yeah, 200. No. Yeah, 200 watt in the 90. And each of the scrubber troughs on the other side of the wall, I have a 300 watt IEMS, one each sitting in the bottom of the troughs. And I have two 300 watts IEMS in the 120 tank. So yeah, I've got a lot of electric here I'm using. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 300 watters. That's 1800 watts per hour plus the extra 200. Let's see. 1, 2, 6, 7. I've got 2100 watts per hour just for heaters in the wintertime. So yeah, the electric gets expensive. So anyway, getting back to the 90. So I'm trying to keep the 90. I never had trouble with hair algae until, I don't know what happened, but I started getting hair algae in the tank, and it started growing along the back glass. And it's on the bottom now, and I just did a water change and cleaned it off the bottom, but it's quickly grown back. So you have to take desperate measures. When you see something like that happening, you have to get on that, you got to get on that train real quick and do something about it. So luckily, 20 years ago, I bought not 20, but God, it's been about 15, 16 years ago, I did a video on Kent reactors of how Kent sucked. It's still posted on my channel, guys. But this isn't the model of Kent that I was doing the review on. It was the newer Kent Bio Pellet reactor, and it was crappy made. It was awful. The company didn't stand behind their product. But this one, it was the earlier model, and I've held on to it all these years, and it proves to work year in, year out. Whenever I need it, whenever I need to use it, it doesn't leak. It performs well if you modify it in the right way. So the hard tubes I've glued on there with epoxy to make sure that they don't crack or break. And it'll bubble for a while, and then after it runs for a few hours, it runs silent with no air bubbles. And we're going to run this Purigen. We're going to hang this on the back of the 90. So the glass plates that I had cut custom, they didn't allow me a slot big enough to put any kind of reactor or some kind of box filters that I could run these Purigen bags with. What you want to do, you can have like this overflow, like these aqua clear box filters are perfect for laying one of those Purigen bags in there. And I can get away with it on the bigger tanks, but on this tank, for some reason, the 90 has a big lip for the frame here, and it won't allow me to put the 300, what they call now, it's not the AquaClear 300 anymore, they call it the AquaClear 70. So it's like the medium size one, and I can't hang it on the back there. So, and then my 110 gallon per hour AquaClear hang on the back filter, it's like this one, but it's bigger. It's upstairs getting cleaned right now. It's 2.5 times the size of that one. Would not fit on there either, believe it or not, but it'll fit on my 120 and my 125. Go figure. But this frame is different. Like I said, the lip is a lot bigger, so I switched glass plates for now, for the time being. Although this middle plate on my 125 is from the 90 on the left side, as you can see. And I took the door glass hinge one, and it just barely fit onto the 90, but it did allow me a bigger space for the meantime right here to get the Kent reactor on there. And tomorrow I'll go have another piece of glass cut like this for the left side, but I'll have it cut not as wide. I'll have it cut narrower, just on purpose, so that I can hang filters on the back of the 90 and run the Purigen. That's what I'm wanting here. I'm wanting to run the Purigen. And then I'll put the glass, well actually I'll have two pieces of glass cut. I'll have a special one cut. I'll put this one away because it's too narrow for the 90. And instead of using this glass one, because the middle strips that flex for the tank, for the AquaClear 125 tank, so I just butt the glasses up. You know, the piece got cracked. They don't last long, and to buy a whole new glass top kit is very expensive nowadays. So I'm just going to have a single piece of glass cut for the middle of the trigger tank, because I don't ever open up in the middle here. There's nothing there to do really. I have my screens for my return, but I don't never open this up here in the middle to feed the fish. I always use the right door, which I'll keep. And over time I'll probably have a glass piece cut for every panel I need, but I'll have to leave one to feed. I want the door to feed, like on this one here. If you can see on the 120, I do have a big piece of glass here. It's coated with salt right now, but I had one cut shy from going too far to the right so I could run my big ass Octo BP 2000 skimmer, hang on the back skimmer. It's monstrous, guys. Look at it. And I hung it on the side on purpose so it doesn't distract my doesn't keep me from viewing, you know, from the front of the tank, and I didn't want it hanging in the back. So, but it's huge. Okay, very huge, and it performs really well, as you can see. So to battle this algae, you need to get rid of the phosphates and the nitrates out of the water. So I want light, you know. Algae needs a light schedule, needs a lot of light, as you know. But in the closed system here at the house, there's a lot of science behind it. And you can't get rid of your phosphates and your nitrates that easy in a closed system. But in the ocean, in the Caribbean, it's such a mass environment, it's such a mass, the ocean is such a mass place that the phosphates never build up. So in the Caribbean, their light schedule down there is like 15 hours during the day down by the equator, I would imagine. But they never have an algae bloom. They always have white, clear, crystal sand, as you know. I would imagine there is algae in some places, but the beaches are all crystal clear and pure white sand beaches, and that's why, guys, because the algae doesn't have a whoops, sorry, my camera. The algae doesn't have a place to grow. It doesn't have enough phosphates to grow in the massive ocean. But in a closed system, a small system like this, there's plenty of nutrients for algae, so you have to make it difficult. So I don't necessarily want to cut my light hours because I want my corals to grow. And I want, you know, I want the desirable algae to grow. I want coralline, pink, which I have plenty of. My pink coralline is everywhere, as you can see. And all the, well, the display tank, there's not much left anymore. It's all turning green, but it died off the back. But it's running really well with the scrubber. And like I said, I do dose it with a 24/7 peristaltic doser with bicarbonate to keep the alkalinity high all times. So the coralline, it should grow, but I don't know why it's not growing right now. But I think it's because my light schedule, I don't have many hours yet. I just increased the light. We'll see what happens. But if you keep your alkalinity high and the calcium high, it should come back. But in these tanks, in the 90, it's rampant. The purple coralline is just everywhere. Even in the trigger tank, it's just awesome. So, but I do want a little desirable green hair algae. So we're gonna put this Kent. It's full of water. I don't have to put RO water in it, guys. There's not much water in it. It's just tap water. The Purigen has probably already absorbed the tap water that I put in there. It's at room temperature. That Purigen is just, it sucks up that phosphate big time. So, and then when the beads turn brown, that's when I'll take the reactor, take it off the tank, take it apart, and take the bags out, and I will rinse them in bleach water. And I think if you put them in the oven, I don't suggest putting it in the oven because you'll melt the bag, but you soak them in bleach water overnight, and then they'll turn white again, and you rinse them off really good in the sink with cold tap water, and then hang them up to let them dry. And you can get, I would imagine, 5-6 uses out of them before you actually have to buy new ones. So I have 2 new ones on standby, but this is like probably the second time that I've used these. So I'm going to put them on the tank, the reactor, and we're going to run it, and we'll be back in a week's time to see if the algae is still growing or is it die off quickly or whatever. We'll get back to you with some results. So without further ado, let me put this reactor on the tank now. Let me lower the tripod. You can see what I'm doing. Oh, let's see here. Why is it not? Just ain't gonna let me. I think that's good. Get over here. Okay. We're gonna slip the reactor on the back now and run it. Hopefully the impeller will start up. Sometimes the impellers on these little pumps, they get stuck for whatever reason, and they don't want to start right up. But this should be okay. Let me just move this glass out of the way. I'm not prepared here. Set it over here. Don't want to break it. Now these Kent reactors, they have this little piece that clips on the bottom to stabilize it and level it off. It does come undone. It just sticks up into the bottom plate of this reactor, and it will pop off if you knock it or something. You don't want to lose that little piece, guys. If you can find a reactor like this, God bless you. Snatch it up. They're really good. But the new Kent ones suck, and I have a video on that explaining why. But this one's gold, man. And to run this kind of stuff with low power and run it efficiently is the key. Let's slip it on the tank right now. Get the cord over the pipes. I do have an extra outlet over here, thank God. And I'm going to run this thing right in the corner. Oh, there goes that little thing, like I told you. So it does hang on my tank really well. See here. Straighten up the power head. That little clip fell, but it's right there on the floor. I can see it. You don't want to lose that. It's a pain in the rear. I don't want to say the A word. I probably will start making my videos available to all ages. So I gotta keep it clean, guys. Alright. Getting old. Let's see if I can get this clip back on. There it is. Perfect. Perfect. And I want it blasting down right there. The power head is like underneath the discharge tube. The supply tube that's bringing water back to the tank off the reactor is shooting down on top of the power head, so the current will not go down to the bottom of the tank and stir things up. It'll be dissipated right up here, which is kind of cool. I've got a good design going here, a good modification. Anybody can do this. I've tie strapped the cord to the return line. The return line is a little higher than the suction line to the pump, because I wanted the pump to clear the return line. It wouldn't return it. I had it too long. So the return line is right above the power head. I can move the power head all around now. It's just stuck up in a little tiny rubber tube that I've made with the valve. So let's give it a jolt of power here and see if we can get it going. And the rest is history, guys. Let's see. Let's plug it in. There we go. All right. It's running. It's gurgling some air. It's got a lot of air bubbles. Let's get over here where you can see. It's running. Let's see here. Let me tilt the camera. There we go. A little crooked here. See if I can zoom in. Bubbles. I tilted it too much. There we go. I don't know if you guys can see that. Kind of hard. Let's get off the tripod. Let's get over here for a bird's eye view around the corner here. See if you can see here. There you go. See all the bubbles in the upper chamber above the foam? Not down there, but when it comes out back up through the middle tube and up through the cap and comes back down into the chamber to go back to the tank, those bubbles will disappear in about an hour and it will run silent. You will not see any more bubbles in the chamber of the reactor. And this is success. We've got success. Killer. I just move it over to the left a little more. You don't need it, you know, just as long as it's in the water. No leaks. These things seal real good. These Kents, this model Kent, the older ones, they seal real good. I do use a little silicone, aquarium safe silicone on the O-ring, and I think, you know, that's what seals after a while. I think the cap is what's letting air in. The pump is sucking air through the rim of the cap, and I think after a while the O-ring seals permanently and it goes away. I don't know. I don't want to know, but it's such a cool reactor. I don't know if we can see from this side. Yeah. Check it out. What a tool. A great tool for battling algae, guys. Okay, we're going on a half hour. We're going to say goodbye. I'll be doing videos every now and then. I'm going to get back into it. It's been too long. I've got to clean my glass tops today. It's early morning right now, and today I'm going to go have some new pieces of glass cut at Ace Hardware. And we'll be rocking and rolling. I'll be able to take this off because I don't really feed. I don't have any fish in the 90. I was trying to run corals. I've been battling alkalinity drops because I've been lazy. It's another topic that I'll cover. Don't mind all these cords here. I have some. Sometimes I plug in my little USB music box, or I want to charge my phone, my Bluetooth music box, and I run it off the charger, so I have cables hanging there. But I did have an outlet on the light fixture here. I do have another light up here, guys, in the rafters, in case I want to work. Let me turn it on. I'll show you what it does. Oh, we got a light now. I can see. I don't know what's wrong with my focus. Oh, see what happens when you mess around. There it is. It just seems like it's too close for normal. I am running a filter lens on my camera, so you don't get all that blue. A blue blocker. Real nice. Let me turn this off. I got Orphix here. Oh, everything's high-tech, guys. I got two 36-inch Orphix. One's a Pacific blue, and this is daylight. Real nice. The daylight gives you that blue also a little bit, but it's just the corals really love it, especially the star polyps, guys. Look at the star polyps will be taken off. The mushrooms, I found out why I lost all my mushrooms in my trigger tank is because the flow of my Rio circulation pumps was too strong. So I cut them down in this tank too. And they're all coming back in this tank big time. And the Recordia mushrooms are coming back because I cut down the flow. Mushrooms are real sensitive to flow. You can't have too high a flow. And I always thought it was the light. Well, they are sensitive to extreme light conditions, but regular, you can see these are eco rays. These are killer LEDs. They are very expensive. These are the 110s, adjustable. I made my own bracket for them, and my powers run up here with strips and timers. I've come a long way. I'm still in it, guys. I'm still rolling in the wagon here with the reef addiction. I want to say hello to all my friends out there. You know who you are. Please, if you like the video, it's not perfect, but if you've learned anything and you want to learn more, you know, I'm just a small guy here. You know, I don't have many expensive corals and stuff, but I am keeping the algae at bay, and that's the #1 killer of the hobby. People get so frustrated with the green hair algae that they quit the hobby because they can't get rid of it. But I'm doing really well. My Corn Angel, he's gotten so big, guys. Oh my God, is he huge! I was just noticed today how much huger he looks, and you know what? I've been feeding him. Well, you know what? Like I said, it's been a half hour. Tune in. That's another video. You know, I'm going to tell you guys what I feed these fish, and the sailfin too. They're just humongous. I've had them for years. My blue damsel was my oldest fish. He was going on 15 years old, and he disappeared one day. And I saw he was sluggish one week, and it didn't look like he was going to make it. And I think he died behind the rock somewhere, guys. But the Clarky Clown, he's still there. You can see him through that hole. He's gotten a little bigger. There he is. The damsel, I feel really bad, you know. He was my oldest fish. I did have a pair of them, a yellowtail blue damsel, but he jumped out of the tank 11 years ago, and I only had that one, and he was older than all these fish in the display tank, and he would eat right alongside of them, although he was only an inch long. These fish, even the corn, wouldn't bother him, you know. He held his own all those years, so he had a good life, you know. He was about 14 years old. It was unreal. He's the oldest fish I had. The trigger, he's hiding. He's getting huge too. So hopefully tomorrow, I'll try to do another video tomorrow about what I feed them and this and that. And hope you've enjoyed the videos. I'm rambling. This is Reefer James, Reefer James Underground. And hope you've learned something. If you like what you've seen and heard, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. And you know, I can never have too many friends. I love to make friends. We can exchange info and ideas and whatever, man. That's what the reef hobby is all about. So with that, I'm going to say goodbye. Reefer James signing out. We'll see you again soon. Bubbles are going away already, guys. It won't be long. They'll stop. Talk to you guys later. Let it roll.